Question 2, part 3. This time, when we get 15 valid numbers, for every number that is less than 75, we're going to add that number to an integer array. So first of all, let's set up an integer array. I'm going to call it nums. And the first question we have is, how big are we going to make this integer array? How many elements is it going to have? Well, we're trying to get 15 valid numbers in our main program here, so why don't we make our integer array of size 15? Just a very quick aside for those of you who are new to Java. Let's just have a look at the contents of nums after we create it using nums equals new int 15. When we create a new array, what is stored in each element? Anything? Nothing? Let's find out. So I've created a new integer array here, and now I'm just going to look into it and see what each element of the array holds. And I'm just going to comment out all my other system.out.prints. In fact, should we comment that out? Let's comment that out. So everything is commented out except this for loop. Okay. Boom. There you go. When you create an integer array and you haven't put anything into each element yet, Java will automatically put zeros into every element. Okay? So that might be worth knowing. Anyway, let's get rid of that and let's uncomment this stuff. Brilliant. So, after we get a valid number, if the number is less than 75, we're going to put that number into our integer array. And at the very end of the program, after the for loop, let's create another for loop to look at the contents of the integer array. System.out.println, and we'll print out nums I. So we're just going to print out to the display the contents of every element in the nums integer array. Oh, we've got errors, have we? Let's just cancel that. What's my error? For int I equals 0 nums.length I++. What's wrong with that? Type mismatch. Cannot convert from int to boolean. Oh, I see. I should do that. Alright, let's get some valid numbers, and some of them will be less than 75. So let's do 70, 60, 78, 78, 78, 67, 78, 78, 78, 78, 78. Oop, oh, they're invalid. 78. Oop, that's invalid as well. 78, 78, 78, 78. Now before I hit enter here, I'm just going to enter another number. The numbers that are less than 75 and valid, that's not valid, we've got 1, 2, 3, 3. And miraculously, there they are. 70 is valid, 60 is valid, and 67 is valid. However, you can see that in this for loop here, I am using this variable to control my integer array. And we can see that that kind of messes up my integer array. It would be nice if these values were at the start of the array. I think that would be much nicer. So let's look at a way to do that. I'm going to create another integer control variable for my array, and I'm going to set it to be 0 at the beginning of the program. if we get a valid number that's less than 75, I'm going to add it to nums, not I, I'm going to use this control variable here. And then I'm going to increment that one. Control array plus plus. So we're using a different variable to help us control this nums array here. So if we run that program, please enter number 1. Let's just do 70, 70, 87, 70, 70, 67, 89, 89, 89, 67, 67, 67, 89, 89, 70. Now valid numbers which are less than 75, 70, 70, 70, 70, 67, 67, 67, 67, and 70. And look at this. This time the array is storing all of those numbers in a nice set. And all of the other elements of the array are just left at 0.